Good afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Alulia here with your tropical update for August 6th. August 6th of 2019, brought to you by Pine Belt Gutters. Not much happening in the tropics right now this time of the year. Generally, we're looking out into the open Atlantic, down into the Caribbean, just off the coast of the East Coast and into the Gulf of Mexico, like always. As we head through the month of August and into September, we really start opening the door a little further out and closer to the coast of Africa. We're always looking at the water temperatures out here in the mid to upper 80s in the Gulf, mid to upper 80s out into the open Atlantic. In fact, they're running well above average out toward Bermuda, and they've been running below average into the Caribbean, though that's starting to change a little bit. They're finally starting to warm things up down there. Into the Gulf, you can see we do have showers and thunderstorms out here, but nothing that's really associated with anything, which is good news. We've got kind of the tail end of a kind of weak sauce little boundary, little front out here off to the east of Florida. All the thunderstorms, by the way, you see that are up whoosh right there. That's sea breeze stuff. That's not associated with anything tropical. Down into the Caribbean, this thing in here is kind of interesting. This is what's left of that Invest 96L. It's still going. And it wavers back and forth between being robust and dead and robust and kind of dead. And it's just going up and down, which is why the National Hurricane Center isn't too terribly concerned about it as of now. However, we haven't stopped watching it down here. The thought is that eventually this is going to kind of continue to cruise and eventually end up near kind of Belize and Mexico and Nicaragua and Honduras down here. We'll have to see if it gets kind of picked up and sheared. You can see there's a little bit of shear in here. If it gets picked up and kind of sheared apart before it gets there, or if it gets kind of lofted a little further off to the northwest. For now, again, no real big concern with this one. As we look further out, everything's getting eaten up by the dry Saharan dust that's out here. We've actually got a pretty stout wave coming off the coast of Africa right now. This one, too, we anticipate getting to kind of eat up by some of the Saharan dust that's out over the open Atlantic right now. You can see that on the 700 millibar moisture, 850 vorticity. Again, 700 millibar moisture, that's what we're looking at, the grayed out areas. Nice and dry in those grayed out areas. 850 vorticity, those are the brighter colors, the blues, the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. And the warmer the color gets, the more vorticity there is, and that's just low-level spin in the atmosphere. So we set this thing into motion, and you can see the dry air is really winning. Here's that next wave, by the way, coming off the coast, and it just gets eaten up by the dry air. And by the way, when there's dry air aloft, we don't really have to worry about development. So you see something go underneath the dry air, it's not disappearing and hiding from us. We can't see it. It's literally getting eaten by the dry air. Nothing's happening with it. Then the dry air gets kind of pushed out over the open Atlantic and toward the Caribbean. Notice not much happening into the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean at this point, all the way through August 14th. So there's a look at your tropical update for August 6th of 2019, brought to you by Pine Belt Gutters, where really not much happening into the tropics right now, and I think everybody can, well, just kind of say, deep sigh of relief.